Today's time is governed by good looks, by fashion, by charm and by glamour. And keeping up with the trend, Hero MotoCorp has updated their long-standing warrior of the 125cc segment, that is the Glamour. So stay tuned as we explore what is new on the Glamour. Is it just the looks or is there something more? Of course, the first thing that you're gonna notice about the Glamour are its looks. I mean, look at it. It feels more streamlined than before. Especially these graphics really help accentuate the feeling of a streamlined, a very aerodynamic feel that the bike projects. I'm not a big fan of the front headlamp, but the rear tail lamp, which is an LED unit, looks absolutely fantastic. The 18-inch tires that you see get alloy wheels and they further complement the whole design scheme of the bike. All in all, I feel this bike fits pretty well with today's trend and in today's time. Now this right here is no ordinary Glamour, it's the fuel injected version. It's got a programmed fuel injection which with the help of some sensors regulates the amount of fuel injected to the engine for a better performance and a better mileage, with a company claimed fuel efficiency figure of about 62 kilometers per litre. While this is still the same 125cc single-cylinder 4-stroke air-cooled engine, it gets more power than before, about 27% more power. So it makes a power figure of 11.5 horsepower at 7,500 rpm and generates a peak torque of 11 Newton meters at 6,500 rpm. The engine has been mated to a 4-speed transmission, and initially I was a bit skeptical about that since a lot of the competition is offering a 5-speed transmission, and I thought that the bike would feel out of breath at the 4th gear, but to my surprise it did not. Even at the 4th gear I had plenty of room to cruise around in the city. Maybe on highways you will feel the need of a 5th gear, but 90% of the times you will be quite content with the 4-speed transmission, which is buttery smooth. You also get a very linear response from the bike and it's happy to comply with throttle inputs. Pull the throttle and it will easily pick up speeds and get you out of sticky situations and tight spots. The Glamour being a motorbike that's meant for city use, now it has to have some good suspension, and I'm more than glad to report that it does stand the test of Delhi's broken roads. I took it through a lot of rough patches, and if you are someone who commutes through city streets, through broken city streets every day, you are simply gonna love the suspension setup on the new Glamour. Along with the fuel injection, this bike also gets some features which have now become standard, which means the engine is BS4 compliant and you also get automatic headlamp on units. So you have 2 pilot lamps which are always on. And there is another neat feature that Hero has added. Due to some sensors, when the bike is falling, the engine will cut down the power. So if you're falling, you won't be pulling the accelerator and further worsening the situation. There is, however, one thing that is missing from the fuel-injected version of the Glamour, which is present on the carbureted version of the Glamour, and that is the Hero's i3S system, which is the idle start-stop system, which saves fuel and is a pretty nifty feature. It cuts down the engine if you're idling for about 5 seconds, and once you press the clutch, it brings the engine back to life. It's a neat feature. Sad that it's not present on this fuel-injected version. Now this right here is the instrument cluster found on the new Hero Glamour, and as you can see, this area is digital and this is the analog speedometer. You have a fuel indicator, you also have a button here to change the modes, which shows you your trip distance and even has an odometer and shows you your average fuel economy as well right here. Now this is not present in the carbureted version, but it is on the fuel injected version. You also have your turn signal indicators right here. Going fast is just half of the story. You need to stop as well, right? And for that, Hero has put a 130mm drum brake at the rear and a 240mm disc at the front. And these brakes do quite a decent job of halting the bike at the speeds which it can achieve. It is there to give you confidence, and I felt pretty confident actually while accelerating, because I knew if the time came for me to stop, I could rely on the braking setup on the Glamour and not worry about falling off. Being in the city, or let's face it, being in India, we are used to dealing with speed breakers as big as Himalayas. And for that, you always require a vehicle that has a decent ground clearance. The Glamour comes with a ground clearance of 159mm, which I'm glad to report is again sufficient for going over all those potholes, all those speed breakers, and well, rough terrains. So, what do you have to pay to add some glamour to your life? About 70,000 rupees. Now I agree that's a bit too much, but then you get the trust that comes in Hero's brand name. You get an engine that is completely refined, that is perfect for cities and can also fare well on highways. You get a brilliant suspension setup, and the fuel injection is just icing on the cake. You also get some great looks and a great fuel economy. So I leave it up to you to decide whether you want to spend that premium on this bike, or if you want to check out its rivals such as the Discover 125 or Honda's CB Shine. I hope you liked this review, and if you did, please do remember to like this video, share it with your friends, and if you have not done it yet, do subscribe. Till the next time, bye-bye.